Yeah, I'm back now.
Okay, I'm sorry about that false start. So the question I'd asked was, what was your view on the American ambassador's interview to ELCA, a South African TV station?
My first observation and conclusion was on I realized that Brian Nichols is actually not an advisor. I can say is both the advisor and the master of Nelson Chamisa or MDC Alliance. Why? Because his rhetoric on national dialogue, to me, it's nonsensical, it's imperialist, it's imperialistic, because America has got a disputed election between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. If we fast forward again in the reverse, there was a clearly disputed election between George W. Bush and Al Gore. That election was clearly manipulated. But in both instances, and currently as we speak, the Democrats are already complaining that Russia is already interfering on the Donald Trump side. But in all circumstances, there's never been a national dialogue. So when Brian Nichols is talking about a national dialogue, that's the rhetoric that Chamisa has been told to talk about. And Chamisa is talking about that. And one wonders that if Nelson Chamisa wins as the president of Zimbabwe, is he going to call for a dialogue? So, and the dialogue has been said. There's a platform called the Pollard that if anyone wants to talk to ED is going to be part of. It's free to join Pollard. But the dialogue that Brian Nichols is talking about, it's a dialogue between ED and Nero. Nero doesn't deserve to talk to ED because Nero was defeated. And Nero was invited to be the official opposition party, and he refused. So Brian Nichols or America is coaching, and they are employing Nelson Chamisa to be president of Zimbabwe under their wing. That's what I learned.
Okay, Mr. Jonas, I am hearing you, and I want us to go a bit deeper into the actual interview. Is it normal or usual for an ambassador to give an interview about one country in another country?
It's not normal. It clearly exposes the US as the force behind Jacob Ngarivume, as the force behind Hopewell Chingono, as the force behind the regime change are clearly exposed. Those who doubt that MDC Alliance is a project of US, they must see, because it's unprecedented that you never see a Zimbabwean ambassador to US doing interview with maybe, let's say, a neighbor like Canadian media, a news agency on behalf of the politics of US and offering the solutions publicly. The duty of the ambassador, President Idi Mnangagwa is available for any call of an appointment from the US ambassador. All the leaders in Zimbabwe, they are available for engagement with the US ambassador in Zimbabwe. He is allowed, but he is now going public. He is calling SADC to be assertive. He says they must be assertive. He means SADC must be hard-lined. They must take a competitive stance. Actually, he wants SADC to invade Zimbabwe. it's clear that the US is engaging with SADC countries privately, wanting them to have a resolution to remove the ZANU-PF government. So it's clear that he is so desperate. He is so desperate, and they want the ZANU-PF to go as like today.
Okay, why do you think America and other Western countries do not recognize Poland? What is the problem with Poland?
Okay. The problem with Poland is, number one, Poland would create a platform that Chamisa and ED will end up being friends and brothers. So they want a dialogue that is controlled, because Nelson Chamisa is already told that in the dialogue you must discuss about legitimacy. By doing so, they think it will be a debate. They are saying it's a dialogue, but they want a debate around the election, so that maybe ED is defeated in the debate. Chamisa would be inaugurated as the new president of Zimbabwe. So this dialogue will be controlled, and the moment there's a date and time and venue, they would start telling Chamisa and give him points to stick on. So the dialogue is actually a controlled dialogue. Chamisa is told to talk about legitimacy. Although Chamisa is a person, he knows that he can't remove ED. Chamisa knows that ED is not someone you can control with a remote. Is not a sticky man. Chamisa knows the reality, but the people who are funding him, they are putting him in a frenzy, in a fake world where ED and ZANU-PF can be removed with the pressing of a button. So that's why they won't need Poland, because Poland has got that friendly, that brotherly discussion and context or atmosphere. They want a discussion where ED is pressed, where the conditions are controlled by US.
Okay, so what should happen now? Is there a consequence for something like this?
Okay. The first thing is that ED and ZANU-PF are losing control of Zimbabwe to the American project, which is Nelson Chamisa. They must start defending our sovereignty. I can fight Nelson Chamisa. I can argue with ED. As Zimbabweans, we can have a different point of view, but national interest must be respected. We must cover our borders and have our debates, our engagements, whether it's dialogue, whether it's anything, within ourselves as Zimbabweans. That's sovereignty. That's independence. But now, Nelson Chamisa is clearly being propelled by US, and the US is rogue. US is disrespecting our sovereignty, which we got through bloodshed. So I think ED and ZANU-PF are sleeping on duty. We should deal with Nelson Chamisa right now.
Okay. But Nelson Chamisa is not the one who had the interview.
Nelson Chamisa, the interview was done on the basis of propping Chamisa. So us as Zimbabweans, our first victory must be against Chamisa, their project. This dialogue thing has been all over the world. And now the MDC Alliance master is now talking the same language of we should deal with Chamisa, then we deal with the ambassador. You know, remember, you don't win a war, you win battles. The first battle is Chamisa can't. Personally, I will never allow Chamisa to do a rally in Zimbabwe. Personally, I will there won't be a rally for MDC Alliance. As long as I'm alive, that will not happen. I would rather die, or they'll be fighting physical, whether gunshots, whatsoever. Personally, Chamisa, I'm telling him, you never do a rally in Zimbabwe until you stop your dialogue nonsense, you stop your Kudiajecha ideology, you stop being a puppet of the America. You need to be a Zimbabwean, you need to love Zimbabweans, so that we engage. If we are to engage as Zimbabweans, there is no country that is run by on dialogue. Personally, Chamisa would not do a rally as long as I'm alive. Secondly, Chamisa will not contest 2023 if I'm alive, until he denounces sanctions, until he becomes a Zimbabwe.
Okay, so you are blaming Chamisa for what the ambassador did. Is there no protocol among the diplomats to say, if you are in Zimbabwe, you can't go and talk in South Africa?
If my girlfriend or my wife cheats on me, before I think of how to deal with the boyfriend, I first deal with my wife. Chamisa is a Zimbabwean who is under the constitution of Zimbabwe, who is under the sovereignty of Zimbabwe, and he understands that his father was in the British police. Now he is also trying to be in the American police or the American project. Chamisa is a Zimbabwean that we must deal with, so that the Americans would try to look for another project. But the Chamisa project is going to fail. So that's why I'm saying, me as a Zimbabwean, Chamisa will never do a rally in Zimbabwe under the skies of Zimbabwe when I'm alive. I'm going to die, or they are going to be bloodshed on that rally. After we deal with Chamisa, we are going to deal with the ambassador, US ambassador.
Okay, what kind of action can you take? Let's say you are the Zimbabwe government. What kind of action can be taken for what the ambassador did?
He must be expelled. You can't keep a snake in a blanket. The American ambassador, Brian Nichols, must be expelled, must be deported, or given a few days to pack and go. And then Nelson Chamisa, that one I'm announcing myself. Nelson Chamisa is going to contest 2023 elections when there's no sanctions from US, when there's no Kudiajecha, when it's shut up about dialogue. I'm telling Zimbabweans, where I'm sitting here, that there won't be a rally, an election rally in Zimbabwe hosted by MDC Alliance.
Okay, so we are finished with the issues around whether it was a correct thing to do or not. Let's now go to the content of what the ambassador said.
Yeah.
You have talked about the national dialogue.
Yeah.
So was this not supposed to talk about dialogue? Is there a forum where the ambassador can talk and suggest to SADC what should happen?
The ambassador, that's not his duty to talk to SADC. His office works around the parameters, the circumference of Zimbabwe. That's where he is ambassador to Zimbabwe. SADC has got US ambassadors in Botswana. There's a US ambassador in South Africa. There's a US ambassador. So in other words, he is like US ambassador to SADC. Brian Nichols is not US ambassador to SADC. He is US ambassador to Zimbabwe. And we know the borders of Zimbabwe. We know the radius, the circumference of Zimbabwe. So he is out of order.
Okay, I think that is covered. Let's go to the next topic. There is an economic crisis in Zimbabwe. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And this economic crisis has resulted in 60% of Zimbabweans not being able to have food on the table. the inflation is above 800%. This is what he said.
Yeah.
Are these not facts?
Okay, we have got the economic crisis is a fact, but how do we come to be where we are now? Through the sanctions of US. You can't throw a snake in my blankets and then scream louder that there's a snake in my blankets. And he can't talk of the solution. He must be removing the sanctions. Then we can talk of the economic, crisis as an issue of governance. Currently, the economic crisis in Zimbabwe is caused by US. So a witch can't offer prophecy of why someone on the causes of the death of a victim. We can't consult a witch on who is a witch. We can't. So he can't offer prescription to when is a causer of the disease. He must just shut up.
Right, and then the last point that he made is that the United States has donated over 3.5 billion since 1980. That is US dollars. They have the interest of Zimbabweans at heart, and they want to see Zimbabwe prosper into a democratic nation. Is this not a good thing?
The 3.2 billion offer to Zimbabwe since 1980 is a welcome relief. It's something that as patriotic Zimbabweans, we appreciate and we salute before him. What is wrong is to dictate the political solutions of Zimbabwe and to assume he's a US ambassador to SADC. What is important is him to be a brother. There's no doubt US loves Zimbabwe. There's no doubt US is a political bully. There's no doubt America is a political thug in world politics, in world order. That must change. We are not like Botswana, which was given independence. We fought for it. So Zimbabweans are not pushovers. We will never tolerate nonsense. America must be a brother and must respect our sovereignty. Our ambassador in America is not talking anything about the American politics. He is there for Zimbabwe and US trade and cooperation. So an ambassador is restricted to the relationship between the US and America, not to interfere with our politics. So we welcome America's sincerity, we welcome America's love of Zimbabwe, but we denounce their political thuggery.
Right, Mr. Jonas, you have quite made your point, and I just want to take you to the South African delegation that is coming on Tuesday to Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Foreigners are seeing a problem in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
That's why they're interfering. South Africa is not asking to come to Zimbabwe. They have said they're coming to Zimbabwe to discuss a solution. What is Idi Mnangagwa doing wrong, which makes people from outside the country think that they can solve the problem in Zimbabwe?
Okay. What makes even in a marriage, we can talk about the uncles and the aunts. For them to come and try to talk to the married couple, it means one of the couple is surrendering the independence of the marriage and invite third parties. We have got an opposition called MDC Alliance, which lost an election, and they still want to be in power. They are opening all the windows, screaming to SADC, screaming to African Union, screaming to European Union, screaming to US. One can even think SABC is Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation. And every day you see MDC Alliance dominating SABC headlines more than what Zimbabweans would do inside Zimbabwe. So MDC Alliance is desperate to be in power. So obviously, the ANC delegation was approached by MDC Alliance, MDC Alliance and their branch called G40, and the US is the master of the project and is the funder of the project. So this is an entity you can call either G40, which is seeking American help. Both America is a superpower and South Africa is a superpower in SADC and Africa, and they are like they are in the chairmanship of SADC of AU. Sorry, so they are invited by a wife who loves to tell her neighbor everything about her marriage. They are invited by MDC Alliance, by Chamisa in particular, who is so desperate to be a president.
Okay, Mr. Tinashe Jonas, I think we have spoken enough about this topic, and we want to talk again during the week after the South Africans have come into Zimbabwe and we see what they've said. Is there anything else you want to say before we close?
Zimbabweans, it's your right not to support ZANU-PF, but your right must make you support the government. For example, many people are saying, Tinashe, you are now captured by ZANU-PF. No, I now know the difference between ZANU-PF and the government. Because I love my country, I should support the government. Emmerson Mnangagwa is a president of ZANU-PF, and I don't support him on that basis. I support Emmerson Mnangagwa as the president of the Republic of Zimbabwe. I support ZANU-PF when they are the governing party. They are the government of Zimbabwe, the Republic of Zimbabwe. So the nonsensical of Mutwaka's Republic to give Ndebele's false hope that Matabeleland is going to be independent. It's bullshit. It's nonsense. The nonsense of MDC Alliance that ED is going to be removed tomorrow, ZANU-PF is going to be removed. That's nonsense. What we need now is a practical solution to understand the government of Zimbabwe is representing everyone. If you don't help your government, you are going to help yourself cry.
All right, Mr. Jonas, it was really a pleasure having you here during our first live broadcast. We're moving to a new format, and I hope that people will be able to interact with you in future. I'm going to take you through the comments. You can see the comments here. Most people don't agree with you. And I just want you to address that a little bit. A lot of people feel that you are supporting Idi Mnangagwa and they're not feeling the pain of Zimbabweans. What do you say about that?
I am 100% supporting Idi Mnangagwa as the president of Zimbabwe. The office he is in now is the office that is the president of the country. So whether I like him or not, that's not a question. So those who think those who suspect I'm supporting ED, let me say to you, I am supporting ED 100%. Because no matter how I view him, he is saluted by the army. He is saluted by the Central Intelligence Organization. He is saluted by the police. So I'm no longer following false prophecy that ED is going to be removed. Then Zimbabwe is going to wake. ZANU-PF must go. Zimbabwe is going to wake. Chambisa is not telling Zimbabweans, if you are saying ZANU-PF is going or ED is going. How? Nothing. So those who believe in Mtwakazi that they are going to be independent, keep on dreaming. Those who believe that Chamisa's politics, ZANU-PF must go, ED must go, then Zimbabwe would wake. Wait for ED to go, wait for ZANU-PF to go. Good luck. I am no longer part of fantasy. I am no longer part of Zimbabweans love jokes. They don't love reality. That's why Zimbabweans, they agree with Twabam, they agree with Maititi, they agree with Madam Boss. Zimbabweans are jokers. So that comedian syndrome is what is affecting our politics. Keep on supporting clowns. Comedian politics is not going to solve anything. So I'm not part of circus now. We need to unite right now. I need to support ED as the president of Zimbabwe. Chamisa needs to support ED as the president of Zimbabwe so that we hold hands. I don't have a problem to meet even to talk to Chamisa. I respect him as a leader. I don't agree to fantasy. We need to hold hands as Zimbabwe now. If the same Zimbabweans who are suffering are same Zimbabweans who are believing in politics of fantasy, that ZANU-PF must go. I support ED now as the president of Zimbabwe. I don't care you are going to like me for that or you don't. You can go to hell. I'm not part of circus anymore. I respect ED as a president. I respect Chamisa as a leader. I respect Thokozani Kupe as a leader. I'm respecting every Zimbabwean. But the politics of lying to Zimbabweans, that let's remove ZANU-PF, the same Zimbabweans, are they ready to remove ZANU-PF? Are the same Zimbabweans, are they ready to go to the streets? Are they ready to lose their blood? Are they ready to go to prison? The same Zimbabweans are sellouts. They look like they hate ZANU-PF. Not liking ZANU-PF, not liking ED is not a strategy. If you don't like Mnangagwa, you don't like ZANU-PF, remove them tomorrow. Let's see you in the street removing ED. Fooling each other is nonsensical.
Right, Mr. Tinashe Jonas, thank you very much for joining me again today. And I'll try to have you back during the week after the South African delegation has arrived and gone. And thank you to everyone who's watching on Facebook and we're also live on YouTube. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you so much.